Now, we're going into my league predictions for this season. After watching the league starts in a week, yeah, this time next week. The league would have been in full form. I think most teams would have played their matches by now anyway. So Premier League season 2022-2023. It's going to be an interesting one. 5 substitutions, very interesting. What's the top 6 going to look like? It's a tough one. But obviously, I think looking at Man City and what they've done in the transfer market with Haaland, this is after watching the Community Shield, how Liverpool played. I think at the start of the game and at the end of the game, Liverpool were probably the better team, but everything else, City were for me the better team. They looked more fluid, except when it was, going forward. So, you saw a lot of frustrations in De Bruyne, for example, looking at Haaland's runs, and things like that. Obviously, again, I tweeted something like, Haaland is having the exact same problem Lukaku had at Chelsea, which is because the teams are so used to playing with a false 9 and, having that fluid front 3 that, now that you have the stationary player that's there, it's harder for, players to look up and see those runs, because again, Haaland is making, I don't know how many runs in behind the defense, but no one's really looking at that because, they're looking at the quick pass that's here, that 1-2 to get moving forward. But I think when Pep made the changes and he brought in the other new signing, I think it's Alvaro, something like that, and he put in Foden. You saw that there was more fluidity, and the play, and that's how they got their goal too. But the play was more dangerous, and it looked like going forward they did better. So it should be interesting. I'm sure Pep is going to figure it out. And, if Haaland doesn't pull his weight, he's going to get benched. And, if you look at 60 million signing or Pep Guardiola, you're always going to pick Pep Guardiola. So there's not really much. I'm so used to, at my club, when a player, certain player of really high quality or whatever throws his toys out the pram, the coach gets it. But at Man City, I think it's different. So I'm sure it's going to take time, but he's going to find a way to kind of fit, Haaland in. And it just looks like system-wise, maybe Pep doesn't like out-and-out number 9. It will be interesting to see how the season goes. Liverpool, obviously, with Darwin Núñez coming in, and he scored in the, in the Community Shield, which is fantastic for him. Does he fit in? It looks good so far, but I'm still sticking to the same, to the same opinion that I had a while back, and that was that I do not think that Núñez is going to be the revelation that everyone, especially Liverpool fans, think he is. But he started off quite well. But at the same time, I will remind you, Liverpool fans, so did Lukaku. Just saying. And also, to be honest, you're playing against City. City are going to allow you to have that space behind the defense, But, when you come up against Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa and Southampton, you're not going to have the same space. You're not going to be able to do the same thing. So it should be interesting to see how that goes. Salah is looking fresh. He's looking sharp. It's going to be a good one for Liverpool. Now, Arsenal and Spurs have been doing well. Antonio Conte at Spurs, he's going to give them that extra boost. They're looking good in preseason too, so it's going to be interesting with Richarlison coming in. It's going to be a tough one. And obviously United with Ten Hag. Again, we'll see how that goes. In Chelsea being Chelsea as usual. Nothing has changed. Anyway, so my prediction for the league. At number 6, I'm going to go with United. I don't think Ten Hag has it. I don't think he quite has that thing to make United click and have them finish better than sixth. Fifth, I'm gonna go with Spurs, only because I'm a Chelsea fan and I would like to think that Chelsea have a good enough team to make it into the top four, especially if our wing backs stay healthy, and that Thomas Tuchel is not forced to play the likes of Reece James as right centre back. So I'm gonna go with Spurs at fifth, Chelsea fourth. And because of what Arsenal have done, the thing with Arsenal is, right, they they have this tendency, no matter who they start off well, they do, they win 3-4 good games, and you're like, oh wow, Arsenal are back, and then everything just collapses for no apparent reason, and then injuries come in, and Thomas Partey is a rapist, and sorry. I probably need to bleep that out, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Arsenal do. But I do believe that Arsenal are going to be a very good team this season. They're going to do well. I think Gabriel Jesus for a while is going to be in that golden boot race, and yeah, it's just going to be a really, really, really good season for Arsenal. I predict a really good season, so I'm going to put them third. And obviously the top two, Liverpool and Man City. I'm going to go with Liverpool again, runners up, and Man City top. Because at the end of the day, if the Haaland situation doesn't work, 3-4 matches in, Pep can always go back to, playing with a false nine. Because at the end of the reality is with Pep, you need at least a year. I mean, when Mahrez came in from Leicester, the first season, he didn't really play that much. It was just more about learning the philosophy and so on and so forth. It's the same with they paid 100 million for Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish was on the bench most of the season in the last one. So it's interesting to see, that every time a player comes in, they take a while to kind of adapt to what Pep Guardiola has going and the mentality of the team that he wants and how he wants them to play. So regardless, I don't think it's such a big issue if Haaland is not scoring or he's missing chances like in the Community Shield. I think that Pep Guardiola will protect him, have him sit out on the bench and just play with that false nine. And they have the Alvarez, I think his name is Alvarez, who is another striker who he can fit into that position, and he's very mobile, so he can play on the right, he can play on the left, so they can switch things up, so it doesn't have to be that stationary number 9. So I definitely think that unless something catastrophic happens, Man City are going to win the league again. And you know what? To be honest, I'm tired. It was fun at the beginning when it was, let's not let Liverpool win the league and Man City must. But now it's getting out of hand. They've won 4 in the last 5. If they win this one, it's just we're gonna look like a farmers league. So we need other teams to step it up. We need to, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs need to keep that, what do you call it? That gap. They need to keep it. They need to make it, keep it at 3 points, keep it at 4 points, because Man City do have that tendency to lose ground a bit, especially when in the latter stages of the league. So it's interesting. We will see how it goes. I still put my money on Man City to do the job, but I would like to see the other teams kind of push them more this season, and hopefully something happens. Anyone but Liverpool, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, you guys, let me know your top 6. I've asked a lot, but let me know your top 6 in the comments below, and and then I'll be in those comments, checking and seeing what people are saying. But that's my top 6. So again, United, Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City to win the league. So